there. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. We are here in Computer Science 1010, Computer Science 1060, and we've just hit or finished or are in the process of finishing our first major milestone, which is writing MATLAB code. The majority of you wrote very good code, and almost everybody wrote functional code. So I was very happy to see the results. If you have not turned in your final code, or if you want to make changes to it, please get it done right away, because there's no time like the present. Hiroki, I did go through your code, and it looks, your new code looks terrific. So yeah, so if you'll resubmit it through Moodle, I'll give you full credit. So excellent job. So now we all know how much fun MATLAB is. Yes, that was the whole goal, to make sure that you know. Actually, MATLAB is not it's a good language for what it does. It's a good programming environment to do the things that we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do with MATLAB, which is something that MATLAB does very well, is create some graphs. So that will be our project through midterm. So we'll work on that. We worked on that this morning, Monday. We'll work on it this afternoon. Then we'll work on it next Monday, both times. And then Wednesday of next week is our midterm exam. So we're scheduled to have our midterm exam at 9 a.m. in the room next door in SM 137. If you're not able to attend and you want to do that on Zoom, please let me know to make arrangements for that. Hopefully, because this is a face-to-face class or a synchronous Zoom class, I'm assuming that everybody will be able to make it either with Zoom or face-to-face. If you do have a problem, just let me know and I'll schedule it at a different time for you. But plan, unless I hear from you, I'm planning to see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. The one thing I do want to point out is that if you are on Zoom, you have to have your camera on all the time, and you have to have your microphone on all the time. So those are kind of the parameters so that we can keep an eye on what's going on. But my main reason for doing it on Zoom is because I want to be available to help you. So the other thing is that when you do take your midterm, all of the resources that you use to create a MATLAB program will be available to you, but you will have to work independently. So getting ready for what happens next. I put up a little program, a little sheet of what I would like you to do. And this is a lot quicker than our last assignment because you now know quite a bit about MATLAB. So what this is a program that we're going to be working on for the until next Thursday is when everything will be due, but there are pieces. I've broken it up into sort of like a work schedule, or in engineering, we always refer to it as a plan of work. So just to make it so that it's not overwhelming the night before. But basically I would like you to write a program to calculate and then visually describe what your grades would look like, or what your grade point average would be based on a schedule of an ideal engineering first semester, or an ideal computer science first semester, or if you're in a different major, you can use one of these, or you can get the academic map for your major from nwc.edu and do a balance. But the way that a grade point average works, and some of you may already know this, but basically different courses, the credits associated with different courses are weighted to do your grade point average. So what I mean by that is, if we take a look at engineering, for example, we have in the first semester, you'd be taking 5 courses, ES 1000. And first of all, here's another question. We're not going to do a computer program on this. How many students do you think actually take exactly this program? This is their exact first semester when they come here?
No.
That's right. I was going to say 0, but occasionally it might happen. But so this is not intended to mean if you're not doing this, you're not on track. This is just a way to get through all of the courses that you need. And it also assumes that a student is ready to begin in calculus, which is only true, this is true less than 50% of the time. So we need to take all of those things into account. But basically, we have ES 1000, which is worth 1 credit, English 1010, which is worth 3 credits, Math 2200, which is worth 5 credits, ES 1060 for 3 credits, and Chem 1020 for 5 credits. Then we have another piece of math, which is how much letter grades are worth. You know that straight A's or a perfect GPA is 4.0 on a 4.0 scale, okay? So basically that means that a grade of A is worth 4 quality points and a B is worth 3 quality points, a C is worth 2, a D is worth 1, and an F is worth 0. So I've written out the schedule here where a minus is always 3.7 and a plus, or is 0.7. So in other words, 0.3 below the grade, the full grade. A plus is 3 above the next, so a B minus then is 2.7 and a C plus is 2.3, C minus is 1.7, a D plus is 1.3, and a D minus is 0.7, okay? So these are all of the grades that you can get. There is at Northwest College, there's no A plus, and there's also no F plus or F minus, okay? So another thing, just this isn't going to be part of your program, but a D is a very strange grade because sometimes it transfers and sometimes it doesn't. So, and also for University of Wyoming, they've been having some trouble with the C minus. Sometimes a C minus won't transfer, but a C transfers. So I think UW may have eliminated the C minus. So as of today, Northwest College has all of these grades in place. Back 10 years ago, we only had A, B, C, D, and F. So we didn't have pluses. I mean, you could get a plus or minus, but it was still figured into your grade point average out of 4, 3, 2, or 1. Okay, so to compute your GPA, let's just say, for example, here in ES 1000, let's say that you made an A, and in English, you made a B plus, and in math, you made a B, and in ES 1060, you made an A minus, and in chemistry, just for kicks, just to get a variety of grades in here, you made a C plus. What is your GPA? Well, you assign a quality point to each of these grades. So this is 4, B plus is 3.3, a B is 3, an A minus is 3.7, a C plus right over here is 2.3. All right, so you take quality points times the number of credits. So 4 times 1 plus 3 times 3.3 plus 3 times 5 plus, sorry, I'm going to extend this out a little bit here, 3 times 3.7 plus 2.3 times 5. And you add all of those together and divide them by the total number of credits. So in other words, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5. So if I look at that, 3 times 3.7 is 11.1. 2.3 times 5 is 11.5. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 3.3 is 9.9. And 3 times 5 is 15. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide that by 10, 13, 16, 17. And if you do that little bit of math, you would find out what your GPA would be for this semester. So occasionally, people can become irritated because they say, well, I got an A in ES 1000, I don't know why I have this lower GPA, but if you get a lower grade in a higher weighted class, it's going to pull down your grade point average. So this person's GPA for the semester, when I take these numbers and add them, divide it by this, is 3.03, which is still a good grade point average. So, but that's how a grade point calculation can work. So you can see where it would be handy to have a program that would calculate this for you, where it would put in credit numbers, put in quality points, calculate GPA. All right, so this is what we're going to be working on today, is writing a little program that would do this kind of a calculation. Let me come down here, we'll get to the plan of work. Okay, oops, that's too small. All right, so for Monday, October 2nd, what I want you to do is create a MATLAB program that will create a pie chart showing the % of your schedule from each class. So today, we're not even talking about the GPA, we're just talking about a percent. In other words, you're taking 17 credits, right? So the percent for ES 160 or 1000 is going to be 1 over 17, 3 over 17, 5 over 17, 3 over 17, 5 over 17, and then make a pie chart. Okay, so we talked about that in class today. That's what we're going to do this afternoon. For Wednesday, we need to write a program that will accept different letter grades and then develop a GPA based on what letter grades you get in each one of those classes. So in other words, the test is going to be, you're going to try it out. Maybe you're going to get a B+, maybe you're going to get an A- in a class and try those out. Now, so there's no other graphing for Wednesday. Then for Friday, computer science 1010 only, computer science 1060 does not have to do this. I want you to have a flow chart for the GPA program if you're in ES 1060. And then for Monday next, we want to add the GPA program to add to that program a 3D pie chart showing the contribution of each class to your GPA. So in other words, on Monday, you're going to take this weighted number, right, which is 9.9 quality points, divide it by the total number of well, I'm going to think about this for a second, because I feel like it should be, give me a moment to give you the algorithm for that, just because I know what I want to say, but if I'm wrong, I don't want to say it. So, so I'm gonna get that one, and then, but do a pie chart with what I tell you in just a minute, and then finally create a line graph showing the quality points for each class in semester 1. Okay, so that would just look like this. Your graph would look like this: ES 1000 quality points. For 9.9 to the next one and so forth, okay? And just get a graph. Now, the one thing I'd like to see you try, I'm not really putting this into specifications, but try some different line colors. I showed you this morning how you could do red, yellow, green, blue. Just try some different line colors. If you want to try a different line shape, if you want to do something with the legend, that's terrific as well. But by the end of it all, we're going to have a program that will compute your grade point average and a program that will do a pie graph and line charts. All right, does anyone have any questions? All right, well, that's your mission. So my mission is to make sure I'm clear on what I'm asking you to do on the step for next week. But for today, we're really clear. Create a MATLAB program that will create a pie chart showing the % of your schedule from each class. There's no data to put into that, is there? I mean, there's no, this is your classes, 1 credit, 3 credit, 5, 3, 5. So all you have to do is set up just a little array with those numbers and have a pie chart, graph it out as %. Yes, sir.
You want us to use those numbers?
Well, if you're an engineering major, yeah. So if you look at the sheet that I put up on your Moodle page, it has the academic map for each type of major, for each major here. So if you use one for your major, that would be great. And if you don't like your major, you can choose another major. Or if there's something weird, like if it says 4 to 5 credits or something like that.
We use the one that's given, not our own class.
Right, the one that's given. Yeah, just because I don't want you to feel like you're putting out your own stuff on anything. So, and then you can assign yourself awesome grade point averages later too. So that's That is acceptable.
I almost thought you put mine, but the one that's.
So now I'm like this, we're gonna talk about Joey's schedule. No, I would not do that, I promise. So, all right. So the other thing I wanted to let you know is right now it is 2:17. Our class goes until 3:40, but I'll be here till 3:40. Should you choose to leave at 3 o'clock, that's fine with me. Okay, so you can leave anytime after 3, and I will stay here if you need my help. All right. All right, so out in Zoom land, it's still just Derek. So Derek, at this point, I'm gonna, do you have any questions for me by any chance?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. I'll leave this on, and if you need anything, just either talk to me or put a chat. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right.